Fikes and other plainclothes DEA hiding in plain sight at the busiest airport in the world. Drug agents walk the concourses, blending in by dressing just like passengers. This is a DEA task force officer scanning passengers boarding a flight for Los Angeles. There's another. How do we know who they are? Because we use the same tactics to investigate them after several passengers said they were targeted for warrantless searches at the gate or on the jet bridge.
I'm a random search, guys. So he says.
So those white folks?
And I'm the random search.
Hollywood actor John Ellie was stopped by Clayton County officers while boarding a flight to L.A.
Were you here in Atlanta?
Yep.
How long were you here?
Doesn't matter. Why are you asking me all these silly questions? Check my bag, do what you gotta do, so I can get out of here, please.
The narcotics officers didn't find anything, but kept asking questions of the Emmy-winning actor.
When did you purchase your ticket?
Don't worry about it, man. Just what's it called? Check my bag so I can get out of here, please.
All right, this bag's good.
Thank you.
That whole thing is just so humiliating. Like, who thinks this is a proper way to treat anyone?
Tabari Sturdivant is an Atlanta-based film director who was also flying to L.A. when agents stopped him at the departure gate.
All my life, I pride myself on being an upstanding citizen, and you still do this to me. I'm clean, like I'll comply, but like, why me?
Drug agents searched Tabari's bags in the boarding area in front of other passengers, some recording on their phones.
I'm thinking more about, you know, making this plane than I'm even thinking about my rights at this point.
Is that part of their strategy, you think?
I think it's 100%.
Records show that DEA and local police rarely find any drugs or make arrests during what they call cold consent searches at the gate.
I see the finish line to get on the plane. Everybody knows that feeling of getting, you know, right at the door or getting on the jetway when you get blindsided. I'm like, man, I got to get on this flight. And they were like, if you let us do our job, I'll make sure you get on your flight. So I'm like, do what you got to do.
They didn't find anything suspicious in Tabari's bag. So what were they looking for?
He just is like, are you high? Have you smoked? Do you have any drugs in this bag? Do you have any money?
The DEA and other drug agents are seizing millions of dollars from departing passengers at Hartsfield-Jackson, mostly from flights to LA, even though it's completely legal to travel domestically with any amount of cash. We found dozens of cases in Atlanta's federal court, USA v. some amount of currency. That's right, in most cases, they don't arrest the passenger. They arrest their money, even when no drugs are found. The probable cause statements show that the cash is administratively forfeited as drug money if the passenger can't prove on the spot that their money is innocent.
You're either going to sign a consent form saying that you're allowing us to search them,
Okay.
or I'm going to detain them, run my dog on it, and get a search warrant.
Feel free to search the bag, sir.
Are you willing to sign a consent form?
Yes, I will sign a consent form. Feel free to search my bags.
In this 2015 Department of Justice report, the Office of Inspector General told the DEA it should stop using a troubling technique, causing passengers to believe a voluntary search is a mandatory TSA secondary inspection. 8 years later, we found DEA agents at Atlanta's airport using similar methods.
We're no different than TSA, man. People like give us a little more hard time than they
Don't worry
give
about
TSA.
it.
He just approached me and he asked me for my ID. He didn't state who he was. He just asked me for ID. And I thought he was a Delta agent. He had airport credentials on. And so I gave it to him immediately. I thought this was how I was going to get on the plane or something. I don't know.
The drug agents may be in plain clothes, but they're not undercover. This is Sergeant David Fikes. He and his canine Bane are still all over the Brookhaven Police Facebook page. Since Fikes was assigned to the DEA task force at the airport last year, records show he's been involved in seizing more than $1 million in cash. His police department has received a 9% cut of that money, more than $100,000, even though Brookhaven PD is nowhere near the airport.
If we have the ability to walk up to, say, Officer Fikes or to any one of these agents in the airport, what would you like us to ask them?
How would you feel if somebody did this to you? How would you feel?
We found Fikes and other plainclothes DEA task force officers by going to departure gates for LA flights. They stopped passengers at the boarding door, asking to see their documents before going through their carry-on bags. The searches we watched came up empty. The drug agents cased 3 different gates in Concourse A, blending in with passengers while we observed from a standoff distance. But it didn't take long before the task force officers spotted our phone and camera. Once they sat down, it was time for a cold consent interview of our own.
Hey there, I'm with the news. You're Sergeant Fikes, aren't you? I'm with Atlanta News First.
Okay.
How many innocent people do you have to search before you find what you're looking for?
Sir, I've got nothing to say to you.
Another officer was behind me, out of sight, over my shoulder, giving hand signals to Fikes as I asked him questions.
What about Tabari Sturdivant? You remember him? No?
Took everything out your bag and put it all around in front of everybody and made you look like a criminal. Like, how would you feel, Officer Fikes?
Why do people have to prove themselves innocent? You got nothing to say to these people?
Travel appearance. Hey, good morning, Trooper Brown of Iowa Patrol. How are you today? I'm doing great. Hey, the reason I'm stopping with a special enforcement campaign going on, we're trying to educate drivers about violations they may not realize they're committing, but we're seeing a big increase in crashes out here. First, applaud you on your driving. You drive great. You're driving really slow. It appears that you're trying to drive safely under the speed limit. I appreciate that. I just want to talk about your following distance, especially around commercial vehicles. Came up behind a red and blue tanker truck. A little bit too close behind him before he made that lane change to go around him. I know it's sitting over there. I was waiting for you to trying to give you room to get over there. I know people like to jam you in that lane.
I'm sure coming out of there and people are driving fast. So
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you got to navigate that, but a little too close to him before you went around him. Okay. As you passed those semi trucks and you came back down to make that lane change in front of that semi truck, too close. You were less than a second in front of him when you entered that lane. You were only 1 second in front of him when you fully occupied that lane. If something were to happen to you, man, that semi truck would plow right through you. So, the round on, right? That'd be great, man. Do me a favor, man. What I'm gonna have you do, I'm gonna have you come out of the car and talk to me while I go over this. Gotta make sure everything's valid. As long as everything's valid, my intention is to get you on down the road. It is a little chilly out here. I don't know if you want to throw your jacket on or anything like that. You sure?
Yeah, sure.
It's cold, man.
It's
I mean, I know it's cold in Texas right now. Come on out. No weapons on you, right? No weapons. All right, perfect. That's fine, man. You can leave it on. You can turn it off. It's completely up to you. You said your daughter lives up in Portola?
No, 2 daughters.
Okay. They both up in Portola?
Yes.
Come on over here, man.
All right.
You a fighter?
Fighter?
Yeah, you got a tap out shirt on.
Well, I've got a lot of training. I'm a retired Marine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What'd you do for the Corps?
Well, I was a data chief initially, but
Okay.
then they changed the MOS to cybersecurity chief.
Okay. When'd you get out of the Corps?
I got out about 2 years ago.
Okay. So, would you give me permission to search your vehicle today? That's okay with you? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thanks, sir. I appreciate that. Would you still hang out right there? I appreciate that, sir. You know, right? I'm a vet, he's a vet, you're a vet. It's not illegal to carry currency, have currency. It does, though, make us ask some questions on why someone has 100,000. I can understand why you don't trust banks, especially in this day and age right now.
Discipline and lots of savings.
What's that?
Discipline and lots of savings.
So with that being said, if you're willing to talk to me about it a little bit, I'd like to. I know you got a bunch of receipts in there. I just want to make sure that it is your currency, that it's not being used for nefarious activities, right? That's not money laundering or something like that going on. That's the questions that it raised, that potentially money laundering or something like that's going on. So
that money right there is for my 2 daughters.
Okay. Are you gonna give it to them on this trip or no? Or that's just your nuts?
That's my money and my two daughters' money and nobody else's.
Okay.
I take that money right there and I buy them things, put food on the table, I buy them clothes with that right there.
Fair enough.
And that's me looking at you man to man in your eyes and telling you exactly what that is.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I got some questions I'm going to want to ask you here in a few minutes. If you're willing to answer them, I'd appreciate that.
I have nothing to hide from you.
I appreciate that. Give me a few seconds. I'll make a couple phone calls, right? And then we'll start leaving those receipts and stuff like that.
Sure.
As long as it's, which it is, right? Your money and stuff like that, and we'll get you on down the road.
Well, you can look at those account numbers. If you want to call Bank of America, you want to call any of those banks, ask them whose account number that is.
I believe it. I believe it, right? I gotta do my job, and my bosses look at what I'm doing and make sure that I'm doing my due diligence. So
I gotta pick up my daughters at Portola at 4 o'clock p.m. So as long as I can make it there,
I think we'll get you there by 4 o'clock. No problem there. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect. I appreciate it. You want to initial the bag?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you a Sharpie. It's not, but it should be there. Hey, Deputy Dunn, could you do me a favor and start putting that tire and the luggage back in the trunk for me? Yes. And that tire is from the car too. Yep.
I just want to let you know that
Is the tire no longer is your matter just in there?
It was just in there.
Hanging?
Yeah.
just want to let you know, I know you're just doing your job. That money I worked really hard for. The money that I have in my jacket is only $2. That's money to pay for my kids, my bills, my hotel. We're going to get that car back to Texas. So, I know you're just doing your job. I don't know what to do. I'm probably going to be stuck here unless somebody sends me some money. No way I'm riding for my children this week. Get back to Texas. So, like I said, I know you're just doing what you feel is best, but
like you know, my sergeant. It sounded like my sergeant talked to you about that a little bit and told you what was going on and everything along those lines. So,
I just wanted to tell you, Officer Brown, I mean, you're taking money out of my kids' mouths.
sorry.
Or you're taking fruit out of my kids' mouths.
Like I said, we believe right now that this is drug proceeds, illicit currency.
Well, I'm going to prove to you that it's not.
Perfect.
And what I'd like to do is, before we depart, I'd like to get all of your information.
You will. You're going to get a receipt for all of this stuff. That'll have all the information that you need.
I'd like to get your information, your sergeant's information,
All
other deputies.
The stuff will be on the receipt and associated with the report that goes along with it. Okay.
I'd like to have names.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
What's your name?
My sergeant gave you that information, told you who to contact over there. You're also going to be...
Tony, tell them, because the interviews are calling us.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then go back in. And then it'll...
Money got seized by the police. They seized $39,500.
Meet Jerry. He lives just outside Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm a truck driver, owner of Triple J Logistics.
Jerry manages 2 trucks and 2 drivers. He used the trucking industry to turn his life around after leaving prison a decade ago.
I got my commercial driver's license in 2012 when I got out of prison. I started my company in 2015.
With his business going well, Jerry looked into expanding his fleet.
I was looking to add on a third truck to increase my revenue of my company, but that didn't happen.
That didn't happen because he did something completely legal. Fly domestically with cash.
I was going to buy a truck for my business from an auction in Phoenix. They had the brand that I like. I like that ISX motor, I love it. It was one of them reactions where I needed to go get this thing.
When he stepped off the plane in Phoenix, Arizona to pick up his luggage, Jerry was confronted by law enforcement.
And he pulled out his badge and he said, may I see your ID? I passed him my ID. He asked me, was I carrying any drugs? I told him no. He asked me, was I carrying any large sums of money? I said yes.
Jerry was taken to a back office where he was interrogated for an hour.
I never thought anything was wrong. I just thought he wanted to take a look at the money and verify where I had got this income, and he was gonna let me go with my money.
Police refused to believe that the money was Jerry's, but the only evidence they had was his old criminal convictions.
About an hour later, he came out with a piece of paper and laid it on the desk. He said, if you don't sign this paper, then you're gonna be arrested. And I didn't know arrested for what, so eventually I signed the paper and he told me I was free to go.
Officers took all the money Jerry was carrying.
Man, I don't know. I was flabbergasted, I guess, you know, because honestly, I didn't think nothing much of it. I thought it was just, you know, just going right through. And the officer seemed real nice and friendly. You know, he seemed like a cool guy. You know, then he ruined my entire year and now a couple years of my life because of it. They found no drugs. They found nothing. They tried to say it was drug money. They went through my phone. They found no evidence of any kind of like drug, anything.
This is Michael Sanchez Ratliff, a 21-year-old Chicago resident. He was traveling to California in March of 2014 to spend time with family when the car he was in was stopped near Council Bluff for traveling 5 miles over the speed limit.
We got pulled over around 4 o'clock. You know, the officer, he went to the driver's side. You know, he was talking to the driver.
Yeah, come on back to the rear vehicle. I'll get you out of here. I got to write you out that warning, all right?
He was trying to be chatty, and, you know, I'm talking because I don't see no problem. And then I guess he asked the driver to search. He pulled the driver out the car, and then they start talking.
There you go, bud. Hey, just make sure you slow down. This is a warning, okay? And there's back all your information, all right? Just make sure you slow down.
But the stop quickly progressed into much more. After issuing the warnings to driver Leonardo Gonzalez, Deputy Miller began asking questions about the trip, discovering what he believed to be discrepancies in Gonzalez's and Ratliff's stories.
That's fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, I understand. Hey, do you have any questions? No. Okay. Hey, can I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have anything illegal inside the vehicle?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right, no drugs?
No.
No drugs? Okay. Can I search the vehicle?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to go up and ask him the same thing. Can I just have you sit back here for a second?
Then he's like, all right, while I'm searching, I'm going to search the car. He's like, do you have anything? I'm like, yeah, I have my backpack. I have a backpack and a bag of clothes. He's searching the car. When he goes through it, he finds my money in my backpack. I told him at first it was like $10,000, you know, because I didn't tell him what was in the safety box. And then he was like, all right, well, give me the keys to your thing. I'm going to open up the safety box, you know, because what was out was 10 grand. And then inside was, you know, the other 10. So when he opens it up, he's like, oh, you know, all this money right here. And then he's like, all right, well, he calls for backup, and then he's like, all right, well, you guys aren't going nowhere. I was nervous and a little scared. I was like, all right, what's gonna go on here? And then the backup came, and then they put me in the back of the squad car.
I'm going to read your Miranda rights, okay? But you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you.
They start talking to each other, and then he's like, all right, well, we're taking you in. And I'm like, am I being arrested? He's like, no, you're being detained. I don't know how that kind of works out. If I'm not being arrested, then why are you taking me? He's like, well, we believe this is drug money and this and that. They just try to say it was drug money. They take me in, they take me through the back so I can go directly into the interview room. And then one of the troopers, he calls his sergeant, and then like, you know, they all start gathering around. The detectives get there. You know, there's at least like maybe 10 cops outside the door. You know, when I leave, there are like 10 cops, like 2 on each side. They're all surrounding me. They told me that, you know, I wasn't gonna get my money back. And then the officer asked if he could see my phone. I was like, all right, here. You know, I thought nothing of it. And he's like, yeah, I'm keeping this. You're not gonna get this back until you come to court. And then he started going through my phone because it was already unlocked. He starts going through my pictures and such. He starts going through everything, and I was like, you need a warrant to do that. And he's like scrolling away, doing what he's doing. After that, I asked him, how was I gonna get home? You know, because I figured that if I could get, you know, at least to get enough money to get home, because they took literally everything, you know. But he said since you weren't being defiant or anything like that, then, you know, you're go ahead to take, you know, a couple $100s, so that way you can get home.
Sanchez can be heard on the video telling officers that the money was from working as a hotel valet. He also says a chunk came from his grandmother. The money, Sanchez told the Register, was intended to help him possibly relocate and attend school in California if the visit with his family went well.
I was real upset. I was so excited to see California, and then bam, you know, dreams crushed right there. With not even a whole day passed. The entire year after that was just a big struggle and hassle, because then in my apartment, I had to sleep on an air mattress that my grandmother bought for me, you know, because she was like, all right, well, what happened to all the money? And then I told her, and then she was, you know, she was pretty angry with me. When I first told her, she, you know, at first she couldn't believe it. She was like, what, you know, what'd you spend it all on, you know? And then I was like, this really happened, you know, when I see you, I'll show you the papers, you know, that the police gave me. Honestly, I thought it was just gonna be one court hearing, and then bam, I get it back. And then, you know, reality smacked me in the face, and it turns out it wasn't like that. I was frustrated and angry.
By the cops. Why? You know, like, what's wrong? His initial answer was I was following too close behind a box truck. He asked me to have drugs and cash. I told him, no, sir, I don't do drugs. I have no drugs. Yeah, but he was like, do you have any cash or maybe a large sum of cash with you? I'm like, yeah, I have cash. I mean, the normal questions and stuff like that, it wasn't there. Like he was just focused on one thing. And that one thing was cash. After so long, when he got what he wanted, he let me go.
The officer seized $41,680 from Emil. He was not arrested for, charged with, or convicted of any crime.
Colin Jordan.
There's all the paperwork.
You gotta get it from me.
What do you mean?
Your license and registration insurance?
I don't know which is which.
Registration insurance.
License plate?
Registration insurance.
Okay. But take this. It's license plate.
Just give me the registration insurance.
Okay. Vehicle registration. No, the insurance should be here. Fax.
You say you don't have your driver's license?
No. I mean, you come to my house all the time. It's my Danny Hernandez.
Do you have your license on you or no?
I said no like 3 times.
Spell your name?
D-A-N-I-E-L.
D-A-N-I-E-L.
Yeah. H-E-R-N-A-N-D-E-Z.
And what's your date of birth?
What else do you need?
Insurance. Hey, do you know your license number? No, I have no idea.
What's your social? Your social?
I don't know my social.
But you got a Florida driver's license?
Yeah, Florida driver.
Okay. I'm from New York though.
So the address might be New York.
No, I'm saying it's a Florida DL. It's not gonna
It's
be
a Florida state. It's a Florida state license.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Florida address. So you gonna put it. Okay. Turn around for me. And lock the fingers.
You got a warrant. Warrant for what?
And lock the fingers. Spread your legs for me. Spread your legs wider than that.
Tell me for what though?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. 1 second. You got a traffic warrant.
So you taking me to jail for a traffic warrant?
Yes, sir.
You appear, bro. You didn't show up to court.
I didn't know that. When for what though?
I guess you received a ticket or something that you didn't pay.
I never received a ticket.
Step forward for me. Step forward.
Yo, run. Yo, bro. Come.
Wait, don't tell him to get out the car.
Stay in the car for me.
Alright. Yeah, you got a traffic warrant, so you're gonna be going to the Palm Beach County Jail. You wanna leave your property with your peoples, or you gonna take it with you?
Yeah,
Alright.
Yo, run.
You have anything on you that you concerned about?
No.
Any weapon or anything?
Yo, for a traffic warrant. You hear this?
You wanna give it to me?
Yeah, Yo, give that to Yailin. Just take it back home.
Okay.
Yo, tell my brother.
You wanna give it to me?
Yeah, Yo, give that to Yailin. Just take it back home.
Okay.
Yo, tell my brother. Where am I going?
Palm Beach County. You wanna give it to me?
Yeah, Yo, give that to Yailin. Just take it back home.
Okay.
Yo, tell my brother. Where am I going?
Palm Beach County. Who do you want to turn the car over to? Who do you want to turn the car over to? Well, they can't drive it. They're going to have to...
Why they can't drive it?
They don't have a tag on it. You gonna put?
I just showed you the tag.
They gonna put the tag on it?
No, it's a safety protocol. But we right by my house. They driving it right back.
What
to
you mean
the
it's a safety protocol?
Safety protocol.
They can't.
People take pictures of my of the license plate. They run it and end up at my house.
The DMV cleared this, or you got the paperwork for that?
Oh my God.
No, I'm saying you got the paperwork for that.
It's probably it's in my house, but hold on. I showed you the license plate, right? So that's how. Once I show you the license plate, I'm good. I'll show you the license plate.
You can't.
All right, listen. You know when the license they have it and you have it right in the car. You know what I mean?
It's supposed to be on the car.
No. If I get pulled over and I show you a license plate, I have it. It's just not on the car.
But it's supposed
Every
to be
car.
on
No. It's no.
Sir, I've been doing this job a while.
Alright,
It's
cool.
supposed to be
Well,
on the
I'm
car.
telling you, wait, I haven't even left my house. You know that, right? Like, I'm still in my community. I'm in my gated community, right? I'm in my house. They driving it. My house is 4 houses down. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I showed you
So
registration.
you're
I
saying
showed
you
you
could drive on
insurance.
the wrong side of the road and pass cars because you're in your neighborhood? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that. We're talking about license. We're talking about a license plate.
But it's still.
No, I'm telling you what I'm
Same
saying.
thing
I'm talking about a license plate, right? Let's talk about license plate. I showed you the license plate.
All right, cool. We'll talk about it. He said, "Do you remember his phone number?" What's your brother's name?
Just tell him Oscar.
Oscar. Oscar, come here.